The United States of America has a 40-year high in inflation, and the Federal Reserve, they are committed to destroying demand. What does destroying demand mean? It means that they're going to raise interest rates until they punish the consumer because they don't want to buy goods or services and they want to stop borrowing capital. Increasing interest rates makes capital more expensive. Capital is more expensive, you don't want to borrow it because it costs you more money. And if you're not borrowing more money, it's going to be sure hard to buy a lot of different goods and services, including things like houses. And we're now seeing the impact show up in the data. Mortgage demand has just hit a brand new 22-year low. Interest rates are going up and inflation is going up, and it's absolutely crushing home buyers. If we take a look inside this article, we can see that mortgage demand fell more than 6% last week compared with the previous week, hitting the lowest level since 2000, according to the Mortgage Bankers Association's seasonally adjusted index. Applications for a mortgage to purchase a home dropped 7% for the week and were 19% lower than the same week in 2021. Buyers have been contending with high prices all year, but with rates almost double what they were in January, they've lost considerable purchasing power. Now, Joel Kahn, an economist for the Mortgage Bankers Association, said purchase activity declined for both conventional and government loans as the weakening economic outlook, high inflation, and persistent affordability challenges are impacting buyer demand. Now, of course, if the Federal Reserve says they're going to destroy demand, they sure are going to take a shot at it, and they're being pretty successful so far. If you make capital more expensive, people borrow less. If people borrow less, they buy less things. And so we just had an incredibly high mortgage demand just last year in 2021. Some would say it was historically high. Now all of a sudden we have historically low. My big takeaway from this entire situation is this is what happens when we have market intervention. We do not have a free market when it comes to mortgages. Why was mortgage demand so high last year? It's because the central bank intervened and they put interest rates down to zero and they started buying up assets in the market. That led to a boom in mortgage demand, and people went out and they spent a lot of money and they pushed home prices higher, sometimes as much as 20% higher on average. But now all of a sudden, the Federal Reserve and other central banks, they're intervening in the market again. They're trying to bring those interest rates higher, and they now want to be net sellers in the market. Anytime that you have market intervention, you get some sort of synthetic response in the market. And that's what we're seeing with a 22-year low in mortgage demand. Ultimately, the free market is smarter than economists. The free market is smarter than central bankers, and the free market is smarter than politicians. They should get out of the way. They should stop intervening, and they should allow the free market to reign. If we went back to free markets, we wouldn't have all this volatility. We wouldn't have historic highs and historic lows, back-to-back years. Ultimately, we need the free market because the free market knows best. The free market would knock off all this nonsense. Mortgage demand's low. My guess is once the Fed pivots, we'll go right back in the other direction. It's like a roller coaster. Go up, we go down. We go up, we go down. Fed's in control. That's not the way that an economy is supposed to work. That's no way for individuals or businesses to try to plan their financial balance sheets and their investment schedule over the coming years. Uncertainty is bad for economies. And the more market intervention we have, the more uncertainties we have. And if we have uncertainty, that means we've got fear. And fear, that rules everything around us. So ultimately, we need the free market that'll help smooth out a bunch of this mortgage demand, and it'll get us back to a normal economy where actually people can learn how to protect their wealth, make money, and just live a chill life. Knock it off, folks. Let the free market reign.